Hello everyone, True here, back with another video. I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day. And in today's deck, we are going to be taking a look at a deck that has been dominating online tournaments. This deck won two pretty big tournaments recently. This deck was piloted by Vitor Lugon. I probably slaughtered that pronunciation, but he was the player that bought this deck to a Hexters and a Krolos and managed to take down both of them with this outstanding Pikarom list. Now, Pikachu and Zekrom has been around for such a long time in the standard format, one of the oldest cards in the standard format at this point. It's good old Pikarom. The general idea is to charge it up, use full blitz, search your deck for up to 3 lightning energy cards and attach them to any one of your Pokemon. You have the option to go for a Tag Bolt GX or something like Raichu and Alolan Raichu with Tandem Shock. Both of those attacks are extremely powerful. However, in the standard format right now, we have a few more tools to make Pikarom a bit stronger. We have access to Boltund V, which is essentially like a Volcanion, but more tanky. And for lightning types, Electrify, the first attack, search your deck for up to 2 lightning energies and attach them to your bench Pokemon in any way you like, then shuffle your deck. So basically, turn 1, if we don't get a strong start, we can always search out Boltund, use Electrify, and charge up our Pikarom for basically a guaranteed turn 2 full blitz, which is not bad at all. And Boltund V's second attack also makes this deck very, very great. Bolt Storm, just for 2 energies, this attack does 30 more damage for each lightning energy attached to all your Pokemon. And this combos extremely well with Full Blitz. Full Blitz, you get to search out 3 lightning Pokemon, essentially adding 100 damage to Bolt Storm, and you're attaching every turn, and Bolt Storm can build up to some very high numbers, even enough to one-shot VMAXs at some points in the game. And that's the general idea behind this deck. In addition to those pieces, we play 1 Crobat V, 1 Eldegoss V, just to help us a bit with access to supporters and draw. We play 2 Dedenne-GX as well to help with that. We play 1 Tapu Koko Prism Star. Tapu Koko Prism Star, we've seen it before. It's a staple in these Pikarom decks. Being able to charge lightning energies from the discard pile, extremely powerful and combos well again with Bolt Storm, and just getting an additional energy on Pikarom is very nice at times in the game. We play 1 Vikavolt V. Vikavolt V is great for the Baby Blounce matchup and any control matchup you come against. Paralyzing Bolt for 2 energies, 50 damage, and our opponent cannot play item cards from their hand. This means Baby Blounce cannot recover any fire energies utilizing things like Energy Retrieval and Fire Crystal, and that's very good. Definitely curves the matchup in our favor sometimes. And Super Zap Cannon for 3 energies, 190, not a bad attack either. If you need a one-shot like a Crobat, you can always utilize Vikavolt V's second attack. And an interesting tech we do play is the Mewtwo and Mew-GX. Mewtwo and Mew-GX is essentially a Pikarom and a Raichu and Alolan Raichu combined. Let's say if we full blitz to a Mewtwo and Mew-GX, we have the option to either use Full Blitz or use Tandem Shock, but what's really interesting is that we have access to both of their GX attacks as well if we decide to charge up the Mewtwo and Mew-GX. So Mewtwo and Mew-GX, definitely a very cool idea in this deck. I definitely like it, especially in the Colossal matchup where you don't really want to attack with your Pikachu and Zekroms or Raichu and Alolan Raichu. You do have access to that Mewtwo and Mew that you can use, so you don't get one-hit KO'd easily. Play 1 Cherish Ball because we play so many GXs in this deck. We play 4 Crushing Hammers just to be super disruptive. Crushing Hammers have just been a nuisance in this format, and in this deck it is not different from any other deck. We play 2 Electromagnetic Radars. This card's super good, lets us search out our Pikaroms, our Dedennes, just super good in this deck. 2 Energy Switch because this allows us to pull off turn 1 Full Blitz in some scenarios, and Energy Switch to like a Boltund V to use Bolt Storm in the late game is just super good. We play 4 Quick Ball, that's pretty standard, 2 Reset Stamp, 4 Switch, 1 Chaotic Swell, all pretty standard counts in the Pikarom builds. 3 Boss's Orders, 4 Marnie for Research, 1 Yell Grunt, Definitely a very interesting inclusion here, going with the Yell Grunt to disrupt things like Eternatus and a couple other decks in the meta. So definitely interested to see how that goes today. We play 2 Air Balloon, 1 Big Charm, just to make our Pikaroms that much stronger. 2 Air Balloons, definitely a very nice way to make things like Boltund into a pivot. So that's definitely very cool. We play 3 Speed Lightning Energies and 10 Lightning Energies. The reason we're not playing something like 9-4 is because we do want to see basic Lightning Energies pretty often to utilize Tapu Koko Prism Star, and when we use Full Blitz, we can't search out Speed Lightning Energies, so we definitely do want a heavy count of basic Lightning Energies. And that's all I have to say for the deck, and let's hop into some games. Alright, so hopping into our first game here against Karakuri86. Definitely good luck to him or her. I have been muted recently for some reason. I forgot about that, but let's see what we're up against. Our opponent opts for us to go first, which we certainly don't mind doing, I think. Sort of attaching to our Pikarom and sort of making, and if we attach to our Pikarom, we're basically guaranteed turn 2 Full Blitz. As long as we don't prize our Koko Prism Star, right? And the starting hand's looking alright. I'm going to start with the Boltund here. Don't know what we're up against, so I probably don't want to start the Vikavolt. Never want to start the Dedenne. Boltund V is probably our safest bet in this scenario. And let's see what we're up against. Their starting Pokemon might tell us. There's a Jirachi. Don't see that too much often. I'm thinking this could probably be Centiskorch. Wouldn't doubt it. Or Baby Blounds. Okay, this feels very interesting, because if this is Baby Blounds, I don't want to get rid of this Vikavolt V, but if it's Centiskorch, I don't want to bench this Vikavolt V, so I think I'm going to be forced to hold on to this hand. But I'm definitely going to play the E-Radar here, get rid of Switch and Marnie, I think those feel fine. Search out our Pikarom, and okay, we priced our second Dedenne. That is good to know. We priced an energy, just one Air Balloon as well. Boss's orders, and a couple of other things that I can't really think of, to be quite honest. I think I'm gonna grab these 2 here. Probably gonna just throw this down, attach the energy. Again, attaching energy turn 1, pretty important with this deck. I think I hold off on doing anything else here. Again, this could be some random deck that just plays Jirachi, I don't know, but I definitely want to hold on to this Vikavolt V in case it is Baby Blacephalon. And I think I'm just going to pass over to our opponent. Nothing else necessary, don't need to bench this quite yet. There's a Heatran GX from our opponent. That could mean, this probably means it's Centiskorch, but at the same time it could also mean Baby Blound if they're playing a weird Baby Blound list. They quick ball away the boss. Okay, it looks like we are up against that Centiskorch, or some wacky Firebox deck, I suppose. Let's see if our opponent manages to pull off the turn 1 Flare Starter here. I probably think they would have it if they quick balled away something for this. They go with the Pokegear here. There's the Welder from our opponent, so they don't have a switch to work with in hand. They have a lot of draw power to work with. There's a Scoop Up net. Our opponent had the Flare Starter turn 1. So yeah, it's definitely up against Scorch here. I'm like 99% sure we're up against Scorch. Gear Scorch to be specific. Yeah, definitely interested to see how this matchup goes. Next turn we can actually go with the Electrify. I sort of want to go with the Full Blitz here. But then again, our opponent can just one-shot us with Hopburn GX next turn. Actually, they only welded for 1, so they actually can't Hopburn GX us and KO our Pikarom, I believe. If we manage to pull off the turn 2 Full Blitz, which is very good. Opponent benches the Centiskorch here. Oh no, they have the Flare Starter, so what am I saying? Of course they can one-shot our Pikarom. Yeah, this is a little bit troublesome, I'm not gonna lie. Definitely want to play this a little carefully now. So our game plan can be KO this, and then KO this. That doesn't sound so bad, to be honest. Yeah, what did they grab off of the? Did they use something? They quick balled for the Centiskorch V. Not a Dedenne, so that probably tells us their hand is probably not bad overall. Gonna throw down the Choo-Choo here and just go with the Dedenne-GX, I think. The reason I'm not attaching this is so we can get access to Tapu Koko Prism Star and go for the full blitz potentially. So let's see how that looks like. There's a Swell. Okay, that's very good. There's a Stamp. Not gonna play the Stamp either. They're on the Swell for sure. 80, 120, 160, 200, 240. If we attach Big Charm here, it forces our opponent to get a lot of energies. I think I like doing that, so I'll drop the Big Charm on the Pikarom. Just go for the research here, see if we can hit the full blitz or not. Yikes. Alright, we definitely sort of whiffed there, unfortunately. No way to move the Boltund V out of the active, no air balloon or switch, which is sort of unfortunate. But at the same time, I don't mind going for Electrify here. This does force our opponent to find a switch of some sort to be able to take a knockout on our Boltund V. So don't really mind that at all, to be quite honest. Gonna Quick Ball here. What do I even grab? Could go for the Bats. We could, but I'm pretty set on electrifying this turn, to be quite honest. So I think I'm just gonna opt to grab, probably just grab the Koko Prism Star here, to be honest. I think I'm okay doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna grab the Koko Prism Star out here, bench it. Just go for the Electrify. Let's see how things work out. So I'm gonna grab both of these here. Now, do I want to put both of them onto the Pikachu and Zekrom, or do I want to put one on the Raichu and alone Raichu? To be quite honest, I don't mind paralyzing this. If our opponent VMAXes and decides to KO our Boltund V that way, I don't mind going in with the Choo-Choo. So I think I'll attach one here and one to the Pikarom. I think that's most optimal. And let's see what our opponent has going for them this turn. This Swell, definitely a very good draw. Getting a lot of value out of it. Being able to knock out 2 Giant Hearts is very nice. So our opponent goes. There's the VMAX from our opponent. They attach 80, 120, 160, 200. If they have a switch, they can KO our Boltund V. Alright. That's fine with us. Now our safest bet is to promote the Pikachu and Zekrom, because our opponent didn't even really do much that turn, to be quite honest. So maybe their hand's dead. Then promote this Pikachu and Zekrom here. That way, if we find some way to switch, we can go for that Tandem Shock. Maybe I should have promoted the Dedenne, because now we have to find a switch. Whereas if I promoted the Dedenne, we could have found an Energy or a air balloon. So maybe that was a little bit of a misplay on my part. Gonna play the Crushing Hammer here. Hits Tails, unfortunately. Do we just commit to the full blitz this turn or not, is the question. I really want to go with the Tandem Shock, because if we go for the full blitz, we're not even 2-hit KOing this, which feels really bad. I think I'm just gonna research here, to be honest. Any reason to bench the Goss? I don't think so. Don't want to Marnie on our opponent. Yeah, I definitely should have promoted the Dedenne, because we could have Koko to both of these, and that's a misplay on my part. But it's okay. Let's see if we find a switch here. There's a switch. Alright, never punished. Gonna play the Crushing Hammer here again. See if it hits heads, tails again, unfortunately. That sort of sucks. Gonna attach the Speed Lightning to the Raichu and alone Raichu here. The good thing about attacking with this is that our opponent, 80, 120, 160, 200, they need Welder to be able to KO either one of these, to be honest. So what? I think I'll check the deck with the Cherish Ball right now. Actually, probably then out the Mewtwo and Mew-GX. I think this is okay. And then we can Koko Prism to both of them. I think that feels pretty good. So gonna grab this. Going to Koko to both of these here. And yeah, go from there. Gonna hit our opponent with that Tandem Shock. It's gonna be pretty hard for them to KO this. And even if they do KO, they have to Welder to the active. And that means they don't have a benched one set up. Doesn't have a benched one with too much energy attached to it. So either way, even if our opponent KOs this, I think we're still in an okay spot. I'm gonna switch into this now. Go for that Tandem Shock. And see if our opponent has a way to adequately respond to our paralysis. Definitely a pretty good turn for us. Definitely did not get punished for my misplay by not promoting the Dedenne. Probably should have attached the air balloon somewhere. Is our opponent one-hit KOing us with this? Yes, they are. All right. But again, they're committing all their energy here, so I'm okay with that. They need, what, 6 energies? Yeah, I'm perfectly content with this because our opponent is losing all of their energies. There's a welder for 1 from our opponent. That's still fine. I still think we're in a pretty good spot. We can definitely charge up to go for that tag bolt on the Pikachu and Zekrom. They attach again. There's the Hopper and GX from our opponent. So we definitely have a couple of things we want to do this turn. We definitely want to dig for a stamp to stamp our opponent to our opponent's at 1 per. Oh, they did also KO our Boltund. I forgot about that. So we need to find way to respond to this. Gonna promote the Pikachu and Zekrom here, I think, and full blitz here. KO this with Tandem Shock with Mewtwo and Mew-GX, I think. Sounds pretty optimal. Play the Crushing Hammer here. Flips tails again, unfortunately. Quick Ball with a Marnie. Probably just go for a bat, to be honest. I think my priority actually is to boss this up. KO it with Tag Bolt, because this is a win condition for our opponents. If they have Energy Boss on our Dedenne, that we do need to be wary. They also have 2 Quick Ball left, so they can grab Eldegoss. But then they can just charge up another one, and that's not feeling great at all, to be honest. This is a rough spot to be in. Yeah, them having that switch, definitely painful for us here. Do we want to do? I also want to go for the Tag Bolt so we can go KO, but I am scared of our opponent having game. I think I'm going to grab the Crobat here and the dig for a stamp so we can safely go for that Tag Bolt GX next turn. I think that sounds optimal to me. Going to drop the Air Balloon onto the Mewtwo and Mew-GX and just go for that Crobat V, I think. Looking for some more cards. No Reset Stamp to work with, unfortunately. Gonna attach active. Quick Ball with this Pikachu and Zekrom. Have a pretty high chance of hitting a Reset Stamp. I think we go for it here. I'm just scared of if we don't hit Reset Stamp. We're in a bad spot. No stamp, and we drew into 3 energies. That is horrible. Let's see if this Crushing Hammer hits heads. This can also buy us a turn. It does hit heads, so our opponent cannot have game next turn. They cannot go. They cannot go attach. They can't welder and boss in the same turn, so we know we're safe in that matter. I think I probably just do I just KO the active? I think I'm going to. I'm gonna go for that Tag Bolt GX here. KO the active Heat Ran, and hopefully we find an Energy Switch. There's an Air Balloon. There is a Boltund V. Not great cards. Our opponent promotes to Scorch V. We definitely want some way to move the active. Are we down all 4 switch? No. We definitely want a way to switch out of the active, go into this, and use Tandem Shock to be able to KO this. I don't know if we can get there, though. We did just shuffle a switch onto the bottom of the deck. Maybe I should have just committed to the Tag Bolt the active and then held off, but then our opponent definitely could have had game that turn. So I'm not really sure what the best line of play there for me was. I feel like I made the best plays possible, but definitely could be wrong. They attach to the active. They Crobat for 5. Alright. Yeah, definitely in desperate need of that stamp right here, right now. They play the Hearth as well. There's a Crystal. That's not good at all. Our opponent's getting a lot of cards to work with. We need, unfortunately, we did not draw a Dedenne off of the prize cards as well. Yeah, we're not looking too good here. They welder 2 to the active. 81-21. They're hitting 200 damage. If they play Great Catcher, they can also win this turn as well. There's a Quick Ball from our opponent getting rid of it. Eldegoss V. That tells us they have a pretty darn good hand, because Eldegoss V would have secured the game for them. I don't understand why they Quick Ball that way, to be honest. And they decide to Dedenne change? That seems a little bit overboard if you ask me, because our opponent should be wary that we are playing that stamp. Oh no, they don't win the game yet, but they do actually, them removing the Big Charm sort of helps us, maybe. if our opponent gets enough scoop up nets as well, they also do win the game that way. But I do feel like our opponent's sort of getting greedy. Yeah, there's just the Gmax into 4-0 from our opponents. Let's see if we can top deck an Energy Switch. That would win us the game, I think. There's a Speed Lightning that... Yikes. Speed Lightning here doesn't draw us 2 cards. Do we just lose now? I think we just lose. I don't think we have an out anymore. Let's Quick Ball here. Yeah, I think we're gonna take an L here, unfortunately. Couldn't draw into a Stamp or an Energy Switch off of that Marnie, which is sort of unfortunate, but I think it is what it is here. I think we're gonna take an L to the Centiskorch VMAX. Unfortunately, I just don't see another way we can win the game. Had we top decked an Energy Switch or a reset, or even drew into a Reset Stamp off of that Marnie, we would have won the game there. Can't even go for that Tingly Return anymore. I think I just have to 80, 120, 160, 200, 240. They have an energy left. They do just win the game, unfortunately. I think I have to commit to active. There's a boss. I guess boss could theoretically buy us a turn. Probably just our opponent does play scoop up net, so I think I'm just gonna boss up a Crobat. Attach Air Balloon to active. 40, 70, 100, 130, 160. I think I have to run into the Mewtwo and Mew-GX here. If our opponent has Switch Energy, they win the game here. If they don't, we still have a little chance, I think. But this was just a rough game to work with. Our opponent probably has it here. There's the Switch. Probably has an energy. There's the boss on the Pikarom as well. Alright, our opponent had everything. We drew sort of, unfortunately, in the late game. Probably could have made a few better plays myself. Probably could have held off. Probably could have promoted the Dedenne one turn and attached the Air Balloon instead of committing to switching the Pikarom out of the active. That was a little bit of misplay on my part. But yeah, that's going to be it for game 1. We're going to take an L in the first game here. And let's see if we can come back and catch a dub in the second one. Alright, so hopping into our next one here against the Kempa. Good luck to him or her. Again, we're muted. I keep forgetting. We do win the coin flip. Opt to go second. Try to go for that turn 1 Electrify. Play it a bit safe. And starting hand's not good at all. Do I start Dedenne or start Choo-Choo? Both of these starts are really, really bad. I'm sort of leaning to starting with Dedenne because it's easier to move out of the active. Starting with Choo-Choo just feels really bad. I think I have to start with Choo-Choo. I don't want to start it with the Dedenne. That just feels really bad. Yep. Let's see what our opponent has. Let's see what we're up against. And it looks like we are up against ADPZ. Thank goodness our opponent had to start with Mewtwo because had they Mewtwo, we would have been in an extremely painful spot with both of these Dedenne-GXs on the bench. Probably would have lost the game there. But thankfully our opponent did not have access to does not have access to Mewtwo anymore, and I'm perfectly content with that. Our opponent grabbed the Zacian V here. Smash up shouldn't be too bad as long as our hammers don't fail us here. Should be okay. They opt to go into the ADP here and go with that Intrepid Sword. Let's see, what do I want to do this turn? There's a boss's orders. That's not it. Do I want to Speed Lightning to the active, or do I want to hold off on attaching? I think I'm just gonna commit to the Dedenne change here. Just want to see all. I want to use the Dedenne-GX and get all of those energies into the discard pile. Hey, actually, we drew into the perfect hand. Boltund V, actually not quite perfect yet. We definitely need a Pikarom to work with here. Gonna attach the Speed Lightning to the Boltund V. There's a Pikarom. Alright, we hit everything. Gonna bench this here. Gonna attach Air Balloon to active. Hold off on playing the Switch. And I think I just hold on to this hand. We don't really have much else we need to do. Definitely want to save the Crushing Hammers for those water energies. Yeah, I think I'm perfectly content just going with Electrify right now. Attaching both of these onto the Pikachu and Zekrom. And yeah, we're looking like we're in a really good spot. As long as our opponent doesn't draw too well and is not able to Brave Blade knock out our Pikachu and Zekrom next turn, I think we're in an okay spot. They Big Charm to the active. That's a little bit annoying. But that's fine with me, to be honest. we can full blitz and then KO with Tandem Shock, which is perfect enough, which is perfect math to be able to KO ADP. There's a research from our opponent. That's fine. They're not bricked. They get rid of a boss's orders. That's very good. But again, they probably have 3 more, a Great Catcher maybe, and an Eldegoss, so still have plenty of bosses left to work with. They attach to the Zacian, our opponent, with the Altered Creation. That is something. Alright, now the tides have shifted, and we're sitting in a dominating spot because our opponent whiffed that hard. I'm going to commit Speed Lightning to the Pikachu and Zekrom, draw 2 cards. That is a lot of switches that I don't want to get rid of. I think I'm going to hold off on researching again, because we just don't want these switches to be able to pivot into our Raichu and Alolan Raichu next turn to be able to KO active. So I think I'm fine just going with the full blitz here. Definitely interested to see if our opponent plays something like a Mallow and Lana. Most ADP lists these days don't, but this is ladder. You never know what your opponent's playing. So our opponent's definitely sitting in a not so great spot. Maybe their hand's dead. Definitely not too unacceptable. There's the Swell. All right. Good thing this is not a Viridian, because if this was a Viridian, our opponent would be guaranteed the Altered Creation. There's a Marnie from our opponent getting rid of all of our switches. That's pretty annoying. But not a whole lot we could have done about it. And there's a research to work with. That's very good. There's an energy spinner, so our opponent has the Altered Creation this turn. I don't want to have to commit to tag. I don't want to tag bolt this because I want to save it for the Lightning Raichu-GX on the Zacian V. That definitely feels more optimal in my opinion. Could theoretically boss up a Zacian, 40, 70, 100, 136, 190. If only we had a switch, we could one-hit KO a Zacian V, which would be super good right now. Unfortunately, we just don't have access to that. I think I have to attach here. Just go for that research, I think. Yeah, just gonna research here. I don't even, there's our last switch. That's pretty darn good. Big Charm to the Pikarom or Big Charm to a benched Pokemon. We're gonna KO this. Opponent's one-shotting either of these. It doesn't matter which one we attach to. I think I'm just gonna Big Charm to the Pikarom. Just in case our opponent wants to boss it up. This holds a lot of energy, so definitely want to sort of safeguard it with the Big Charm here. Going to switch into the Raichu and the Lone Raichu. This KO our opponent's active. Our opponent definitely can still win this game, but they'll have to draw extremely well, and they need a boss and they need boss energy this turn, which to be honest doesn't sound too unacceptable. But we do have access to both of our reset stamps so far, which is very good. We also have a Marnie in hand to work with if our opponent... there's a Dedenne change. Alright, that's good for us. They get rid of a research, a couple of other things. Yep, that's fine with us. There's the energy. Do they have the boss to work with? There's a saucer. That's not good for us. They have a boss. We're definitely scared here. So... Let's see if our opponent... there's the Eldegoss. No, our opponent has the boss's orders to work with, unfortunately. Now it's going to come down to Stamp breaking our opponent and hopefully making it so they don't have saucers to work with. They're going to boss up our Boltund V here. That's expected. And hopefully we can draw into an energy to be able to KO with the Lightning Raichu-GX here. These Big Charms are also very annoying, but we have 2 bosses to work with. We definitely need a way to disrupt our opponent's hand this turn. But to be honest, if they had to Eldegoss, that probably means they didn't have a boss to work with in hand. They could have drew a boss off the prize cards, I guess. Yeah, definitely gonna have to go with the Lightning Raichu-GX this turn. Hopefully KO. There's a Crushing Hammer. This is huge. If it hits heads, it does hit heads. So this means our opponent now has to hit double saucer, attach, and boss to win the game. Hopefully we can hit a stamp here. I'm gonna Quick Ball away to Chaotic Swell, check the deck a little bit. Let's see what we have working with here. We do have double reset stamp, that is very good. No Dedennes or anything left to work with. Gonna thin out this Mewtwo and Mew-GX. Probably just E-Radar away the Mewtwo and Mew-GX and the Grunt here. None of those seem too useful anymore. bench the Koko Prism Star, and I think I'm actually just going to go in with that Crobat V. Draw 4 cards, digging for Reset Stamp, no stamp to work with, and drawing into both our switches, not great. But to be quite honest, don't think I mind it, because this sort of guarantees our lightning ride, which I do like doing. I sort of want to research. Let's do this first. So I'm gonna bench the Boltund V here, retreat into our Pikachu and Zekrom, Dance of the Ancients to both of these, and switch back into the Raichu and Alolan Raichu. Our switch is definitely giving us some value to work with here. We don't have Eldegoss left. Playing Research gives us a lot of draw power into Reset Stamp potentially, but at the same time, I sort of want to hold on to the boss. I'm going to commit to the Research here, see how that works, see if we can draw into a stamp. There's both stamps, there's a Crushing Hammer. Don't need to play the hammer quite yet. Going to stamp our opponent to 3 cards. Hold off on attaching the Air Balloon here, and I think I just go for that Lightning Ride GX. Unfortunately, nothing... No, we can actually go into this Pikachu and Zekrom. I was going to say nothing can tank a hit from the Zacian V, but our Pikachu and Zekrom definitely can here. Are we done all 4 switched? We are, so we don't have a way to move this out of the active now. Unless our opponent Tool Scrappers early and they don't have the game next turn. This sort of sucks, to be honest. Not having access to switch now, I think I'm sort of getting punished for that. Maybe I should have Marnied there. Probably should have Marnied now that I think about it. We probably would have drawn into a Reset Stamp, and I still had access to that switch, and we could have researched the following turn to find it. Yep, definitely learning from my mistakes. Do I commit this energy anywhere? Probably not. Just go for that 190. Maybe I'll just attach it to the Boltund then. Just go for that Lightning Ride GX. KO our opponent's activation V. Go into our Pikachu and Zekrom here, and see if our opponent has an adequate response to work with. Again, if they draw really well off the stamp, they can have access to game. Our opponent can even, if our opponent has Tool Scrapper, they can also win the game that way, just by double saucer attach. Just a great catcher from our opponent. But do they have a Research to work with in that hand? Is the question. There's a Dedenne-GX. Our opponent drew really well off of our stamp there. This is not good. Not good. There's one saucer. Do they have a second saucer? There's a Quick Ball that can't fetch them anything that they can bench. Maybe they have a Research to work with in their hand, or a Marnie to go for the dig. There's a Zamazenta V from our opponent. That's not gonna get them the game. There's the Research. Oh no. Does our opponent have game this turn or not? Let's see here. Do they have a saucer? There's a Quick Ball. That's not a saucer. That's really good. They get rid of a Metal Energy, but they had plenty in the discard already. That's fine. Yeah, definitely very excited here to see if our opponent has the game. There's the Primate Wisdom. We have Air Balloon in hand. If our opponent does not have game this turn. There's the Saucer. Do they have an Energy? They have the Energy. Our opponent hit the nuts off of the Research, off of the stamp, and that's gonna be it for the games with the Pikarom list. Fortunately, could not win a game here. But that last game, we definitely got pretty unlucky. Our opponent hit everything they needed. And yeah, sometimes that's just how it is on ladder. And that's going to be it for the games with the Pikarom deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, remember to have a good day and stay safe. And peace out.